Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat.
Thank you, Prabhu, for joining us. Can we start, Prabhu?
Please forgive me, I'm a little late.
No, absolutely fine, Prabhu. You're not very late at all. That's fine, Prabhu. So, Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu?
Yeah, I'll request you to show the verse on the.
Okay, Prabhu, I'll do that.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya on a Saturday morning. Today we have the privilege of having the association of His Grace, Premasindhu, Gauranga Prabhu, and Prabhu will be continuing with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 1, verse number 7. Prabhu, over to you. Notes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Just give me a moment. Meanwhile, can you just share the verse?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. I'm just doing that.
Actually, we have one program here today, so I was running around.
Okay.
So just near Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya, there is the Bhajan Kutir of Madhavendra Puri.
Oh, okay.
Near Govind Kund. So we are renovating it, and today morning is the inauguration.
Hari Bol. Very nice. This chair. Just check the verse.
All right. Prabhu, just give me one moment. I'll be back.
Okay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam to all devotees. So I welcome you to today's Bhagavatam class, and we are studying fifth canto. So the fifth canto begins with activities of Maharaj Priyavrat. So we are in that section, and this particular verse also explains that how since after the Prachetas there were no suitable rulers, rulers for the whole universal organization. So that is why Lord Brahma, who is the creator, he is going and requesting Priyavrat Maharaj to take over the universal governance. And before that, Manu also goes, but Priyavrat Maharaj declines his request. And so then Lord Brahma comes there. And then Lord Brahma has come. So definitely understanding the urgency and the importance of the responsibility, then Priyavrat Maharaj agrees to become the ruler. So as you know that most of the verses in the fifth canto don't have a meter, chanda. So they cannot be sung. So this verse is also like that. It does not have a meter. So it has to be read like a text. Not it cannot be sung in a meter. So we'll read the verse here. अतः भगवान् आदिदेव एतस्य गुणविसर्गस्य परिब्रह्माणानुध्यान व्यवस्थित सकल जगत अभिप्राय आत्मयोनिर अखिल निगम निजगण परिवेष्टितः स्वभवनाद अवततार. So the word to word Atha, thus, is indeed Bhagavan, most powerful. Bhagavan word is used here for Brahma. So sometimes Prabhupada explains that great personalities who are not supreme personality of Godhead, they are also called as Bhagavan. Adi Deva, the first demigod, Etasya, of this universe. Guna Visargasya, the creation of the three modes of material nature. Paribrahmana, welfare. Anudhyana, always thinking of. Vyavasit, known. Sakala, this whole Jagat of the universe. Abhipraya, by whom the ultimate purpose. Atma, Supreme Self. The word Atma is used in Vedas in different ways. Atma means sometimes the Jivatama. Atma also means Paramatma. Atma can also means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But depending on the context, the word Atma is used. Yoni, whose source of birth. Yoni is basically source of birth. Akhila, all. Nigama, by the Vedas. Nijagana, by personal associates. Pariveshtitaha, being surrounded. Swabhavanat, from his own abode. Avatatara, descended. So it is explained how Lord Brahma is carrying out the activities of welfare, and then eventually goes being concerned about the situation that no one is there to govern the universe. So he goes and he requests Priyavrat Maharaj. So translation goes like this. Sri Shukdev Goswami continued. The first created being and most powerful demigod in this universe is Lord Brahma, who is always responsible for developing universal affairs. Born directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he dedicates his activities to the welfare of the entire universe, for he knows the purpose of universal creation. This supremely powerful Lord Brahma, accompanied by his associates and the personified Vedas, left his own abode in the highest planetary system and descended to the place of Prince Priyavrat's meditation. So we'll read the purport. Prabhupada explains very nicely about the verse here. Basically, in this verse, we see, or the context of this particular episode here, the few verses which are before this and after this, is that Lord Brahma is the creator. Now, if someone does not understand who is Brahma, who is Lord Shiva in the proper context, then they think that Brahma is busy with creation and Lord Shiva is busy with destruction and many other activities, not only destruction, but this is a general idea which people have who have not heard properly or read properly. So Brahma, although is the creator, and a person who is creating is always in mode of passion. But Brahma is not like that. Definitely he is associated with mode of passion. But because he is born from the Lord himself and the Lord has given him the duty of managing the universe, creation, and he does not directly manage, he delegates it to other people like Manus and the great rishis like that. So, but managing universal affairs is ultimately his responsibility. So, at the same time, Brahma is also a pure devotee. So, we read in the Brahma Samhita that Brahma is actually having the understanding of spiritual life, which is at the highest level, that is, understanding of Golok Vrindavan and the Lord's pastimes in Golok Vrindavan. There are many demigods who are pure devotees of the Lord. Yamaraj is there, then Surya is there, Shani Dev is there, Ganesha is there, many are there. And Brahma is also there, but Brahma is very special because Brahma is having the understanding of not only Vaikuntha but also Goloka. And that is why he is also the Acharya of our Sampradaya, where we are worshipping Krishna in Goloka. So, Brahma is the manager, creator. He associates with mode of passion. At the same time, he is a pure devotee. And so, this kind of personality, Brahma, externally, it seems that he might not be very advanced. But he is very, very advanced devotee. And he knows that the universe has been created by the Lord for a purpose. The purpose is to give the jivas an opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead. The jivas can enjoy also material life, and while enjoying material life, at some point of time, they will understand that this kind of enjoyment is temporary, and they'll start looking for a mode of enjoyment which is permanent. And then the Vedas, the devotees, the great rishis, they will facilitate their journey for eternal enjoyment, that is spiritual enjoyment. So that is the purpose of the creation of this universe. And although the purpose is ultimately spiritual, that is to give the jivas an opportunity to go back to Krishna. But when you see an overall picture of the universe, in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna tells that the universe is like a upside down banyan tree. So everything which is there in spiritual world here, it is perverted. So externally it seems that there is nothing special about this world. And so managing universal affairs, what could be special in that? It is a material activity. But although there are so many material activities which are involved in managing the universe, creation of the universe, Brahma creates every day. some portion of the universe. So it's a material activity, but the purpose is spiritual. So what we are studying here is that sometimes great personalities who are very advanced in spiritual life, who are very advanced in their realization, and sometimes they even have established a relationship with the Supreme Lord. So sometimes these kind of personalities are chosen by the Supreme Lord to manage universal affairs. Although managing universal affairs looks like a material activity, because the ultimate purpose of the universe is spiritual, that is to connect all the jivas to Krishna or Vishnu by some way or the other. So who is a better candidate to manage these so-called material activities than a pure devotee of the Lord? There cannot be. So someone who understands the ultimate purpose of this universal governance, this system, he is the best candidate for managing it also. So that is why this so-called material responsibility of managing things and dealing with material affairs is given to pure devotees sometimes, not sometimes, most of the times, or all the times. Like Brahma is a great personality, and then he is going to delegate the some part of the governance of the universe to Priyavrat Maharaj, because no one else is qualified to do that. So this is the essence of this section here. And so it also focuses on the aspect of responsibility. So speaking of universal governments, pure devotees, they are managing some so-called material activities. Actually, those material activities also become spiritualized if you do those activities for pleasure of Krishna, which we read in Bhagavad Gita. So throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has been telling Arjuna about Karma Yoga. And the proper understanding of Karma Yoga is doing karma which is pleasing to Krishna, not expecting the results and not expecting the fruits. That is Karma Yoga. So that kind of Karma Yoga also becomes devotion, bhakti. So externally it looks like karma, but it becomes devotion because it is done for pleasure of the Supreme Lord, to assist the Supreme Lord in some kind of some mission of the Supreme Lord, whether it is fighting or managing or whatever. So fighting, managing are all material activities, but they are also spiritualized. So this is the essence here. So now the same principle can be applied to ISKCON society or any spiritual society. That taking responsibility in the society and managing some things, many people, they don't like it. They want to run away because they feel that it's a material activity and it will distract them from their focus in sadhana. But taking the example from here, we understand that, for example, managing a temple, like your Bangalore temple is there. So now the person who is managing, so he has to deal with so many different types of people who are not devotees and deal with different issues and so-called material activities, buying things, doing some marketing and doing some PR and dealing with employees, hiring somebody, firing somebody. So these activities, they look like material activities and not very palatable for devotional service, but someone has to do it. Everybody need not do it because different people have different nature. That is where varnashram comes in. But some person who is mature, he has a good devotional standing, and who has the ability to handle these things. So he has to do it. There's no other option. So ISKCON is organized religion. So when the religion becomes organized, then you need organizers. Similarly, the universal government is also organized. So you need organizers. If you are a Bhajnanandi, then you don't need organization. Then you sit, you mold your life in such a way that there is no disturbance. And no one, you just focus on developing your relationship with the Supreme Lord. But if you are in organized religion or if you are preaching, then this aspect will come in. So we see here that Priyavrat Maharaj is a Bhajananandi, born in a Kshatriya family, but he is interested in bhajan only. He is not interested in management organization, although born in a Kshatriya family. And so, I think someone's mic is on, so voice is coming.
Prabhu,
So,
can you just make me the host? I'm sorry. I think there's some mistake. I made you the host, so I'm not able to change it. Sorry, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, you are host, Prabhuji. I will let you know, Prabhu.
No, I pinned in between.
no, I'm not host. You are only host.
Okay, Prabhu.
You
Okay,
Prabhuji
that's
mute all except Prabhuji. So you don't have.
I'll do it. In between, I was not the host. That's fine. Okay, Prabhu.
Yes. So the same concept I was saying can be applied to any spiritual organization like ISKCON, that someone has to take that responsibility. Although devotees of ISKCON, the primary goal is develop their relationship with Krishna. So management and dealing with so many different activities is not a very conducive thing because the mind gets disturbed. But someone who can handle it and who is also devotee, he should do it. Because only a devotee can do it. Who else can do it? Someone who understands the purpose, he can only do it. Similarly, Priyavrat Maharaj, I was saying, although born in a Kshatriya family, he is interested in bhajan. He is a Bhajananandi. And so he's sitting, and his brother Uttanapal, he was doing all the ruling. And but now, because no one is there, so Brahma is searching who can do the management now, who can do the organization. So it is very interesting to see here that there is no dearth of living entities in this world, and there is no dearth of living entities who are capable managers, organizers. There will be so many others apart from Priyavrat. But Brahmaji is choosing Priyavrat, although Priyavrat does not like it. He is engaged in bhajan. So that is why you see when Prabhupada was leaving, so he told that your love for me will be shown by how you cooperate with each other. and how you organize the society. So why he said that? Because it's not a very easy thing. People who have taken the path of spiritual life, they have taken the path of spiritual life because they want to get away from these things, management and organization. But you find that even after coming here, again, same thing is there. It's given to you. Just like Arjuna. Arjuna wants to take spiritual life and he tells Krishna that, okay, so now I should give up fighting. What is the role of fighting in spiritual life? So I should go to forest. I am okay. I can live by begging. Let the Kauravas take the kingdom. But Krishna tells that because you are a Kshatriya, so it's not going to work out like that for you. So someone who has that nature, he should engage that nature and dovetail that activity in devotional service. So one cannot be artificial in his activities. If you have certain nature, that nature has to be engaged in service of the Lord. We cannot be artificially, we cannot become Babajis or sannyasis or whatever. So that nature has to be utilized in Krishna service, and this utilization of one's nature in Krishna service is basically Varnashram. So Varnashram is not just opening some farm or living without electricity. Those are different aspects of simple living, but Varnashram will be successful when the leaders, they understand who has what nature, and those people are engaged accordingly, according to their nature. And sometimes great personalities, they have to go against their nature also. For example, Prabhupada is there. Prabhupada would have been happy to stay in Vrindavan in Radha temple. Who wants to go to the West, associate with crazy people, hippies, and no one wants to do that. You know, if you are living in Vrindavan, why you want to go to West and associate with crazy people, hippies there? But he has to go against his nature, and because it is the instruction of his spiritual master. Similarly, on the instruction of Brahma, Priyavrat Maharaj has to do something. Okay, please show the verse again. So, purport. Okay, so I got carried away with the explanation. So let me quickly recite the prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunnitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sangana Raghunathanutam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Savagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvatamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Prasude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauravatta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Prabhupada tells in the purport, Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Self, is the source of everything. So here you see Atma word. Atma word can be used in different ways. Atma is used for our soul, Jiva. It is used for Paramatma. It is also used for the Supreme Soul. So it is explained in Vedanta Sutra, Janmadhyasyata. Because Brahma was born directly from Lord Vishnu, is called Atma Yoni. He is also called Bhagavan, although generally Bhagavan refers to Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu or Krishna. Sometimes great personalities, such as demigods like Lord Brahma, Narada, or Lord Shiva, are also addressed as Bhagavan because they carry out the purpose of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So either Bhagavan himself or someone who is empowered by Bhagavan, they are called as Bhagavan because they carry the potency of the Supreme Lord. And Lord Brahma is called Bhagavan because he is the secondary creator of the universe. He is always thinking of how to improve the situation of the conditioned souls who have come to the material world to enjoy material activities. For this reason, he disseminates the Vedic knowledge throughout the universe for everyone's guidance. So Brahma knows what is the purpose of the creation. We discussed that in the beginning of the class. That is to give the souls an opportunity to practice spiritual life at some point of time in their existence in this world. In some lifetime, they will do it. So Brahma is facilitating that by spreading the Vedic knowledge. Brahma was the first to receive the Vedic knowledge directly from Lord Vishnu. And then Brahma sons, the great rishis, they are further disseminating this knowledge in the lower planetary systems below Brahmaloka. So Vedic knowledge is divided into two parts, Pravritti Marg and Nivritti Marg. Nivritti Marg is path of negating sense enjoyment. Nivritti Marg means now you're on the path of liberation. So you're enjoying in this world and you enjoy, keep on enjoying, and ultimately you understand that the enjoyment is not as it seems like. The enjoyment is superficial. The enjoyment is only in anticipation. When you actually do it, there is not so much enjoyment. And after doing it, there is frustration. So when someone understands, then he goes on the Nivritti Marg. He starts looking for permanent enjoyment, not temporary sense enjoyment. So then he gives up the activities which are which engage in material sense enjoyment. That is Nivritti. And Pravritti is path by which the living entities are given a chance to enjoy. And at the same time are directed in such a way that they can go back home, back to Godhead. So in the Vedas, there are 4 Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So even if you want enjoyment, that is Kama, first you have to do Dharma. So you do some religious activity, pious activity, and by that pious result, then you can enjoy. So Dharma, then by Dharma, you earn some Artha. Artha is land, gold. So basic economic development means Artha. Religious development is Dharma. Then Kama means sense enjoyment is Kama. So by Artha, which is earned with Dharma, you should do Kama. So you should not do Kama, which is Adharma, which is adharmic. So Kama can be done with Artha, which is dharmic. So Dharma, Artha, Kama. And then at some point of time, the person will understand that this material sense enjoyment it's repetitive, temporary, and it does not give so much enjoyment. One might go to heavenly planets, come back again do punya, again go, again come back. So what is it doing? What is the point in doing something which is cyclic, So one should do something which is eternal. One should go to a destination which is eternal. So these cyclic things, again birth, taking birth, again dying, again disease, again doing punya, exhausting the punya. What is the point in doing cyclic activities? It is stupid things. So when someone understands that, then he starts looking into the Jnana Kanda section and the Upasana Kanda section of the Vedas. He comes out from the Karma Kanda section. So Nivrutti Marga and Pravrutti Marga. So even when someone is doing Pravrutti, that is enjoyment, it is to be done by dharmic way, so that ultimately one takes shelter of the Vedas from Karma Kanda to Jnana Kanda to Upasana Kanda. Then in Upasana Kanda, there is worship of the Devatas, and Upasana Kanda conclusion is worship of Lord Vishnu. And if someone is very fortunate that he comes in this day of Brahma, when Lord Krishna has come, Lord Chaitanya has come, then he can even go beyond the Vaikuntha understanding and understand Krishna. That is very rare. But even if someone gets the Vaikuntha understanding, then that is considered as a very great achievement. So even Pravritti Marg is such that one always has access to the higher sections of the Vedas. So ultimately one can go back home, back to Godhead once one becomes frustrated with that pravritti. So because ruling over this universe is great responsibility, Brahma must force many Manus in different ages to take charge of universal affairs. Under each Manu, there are different kings who also execute the purpose of Lord Brahma. So under Brahma, there are Manus. Under Manus, there are different kings, different kings of different sections of the universe. Then it is understood Indra is also under Manu. So under Indra, then there are different kings on Bhumandal, different sections of Bhumandala. Earth is one part of Bhumandala. So it is understood from previous explanations that the father of Dhruv Maharaj, King Uttanapad, ruled over the universe because his elder brother Devrat practiced austerity from very beginning of his life. Scroll down. Thus, up to the point, where is that? Thus, up to the point of the Prachetas, the kings of the universe were all descendants of Uttanapan Maharaj. Since there were no suitable kings after the Prachetas, the present Manu that time, Swayambhuva Manu, he went to Gandhamadhan hill to bring back his eldest son, Priyavrat, who was meditating there. So Swayambhuva Manu is the child of Brahma. And Manu's child he has two children, Priyavrat and Uttanapad. So basically, Priyavrat's grandfather is Brahmaji. So when he refused, Lord Brahma descended from the supreme planetary system known as Satyaloka to request Priyavrat to accept the order. And also the personified Vedas and the sages, they are also coming with him. So next paragraph. So Lord Brahma is coming from his own abode, Swabhavanat. And every demigod has his abode. Chandraloka, Indraloka, Suryaloka, like that. So whoever you worship, you go there. Bhagavata says, Yanti Devrata Deva, Pitrun Yanti Pitruvata. So if you worship the Devas, you go to Devas. If you worship Pitras, you go to the Pitris. If you worship the Bhuta Preta, you go to Bhuta Pretas. They have their own loka. If you worship Krishna, you come back to Krishna. So whoever you worship, you go there. It's not that if you worship whoever, you can worship anybody and you go to the same destination. It's not like that. So, so basically here we see that Brahmaji is coming from Satyaloka. So stop sharing. So we were discussing here that Brahma is coming and he is giving the responsibility to Priyavrat Maharaj. So we discussed that sometimes some activity might look like a material activity, but when it is for Krishna's mission, then that so-called material activity also becomes devotional activity, just like Arjuna fighting the war. So here also we see that Priyavrat Maharaj is Bhajananandi, not interested. But now since no one is there, and inherently Priyavrat Maharaj has those qualities to manage the universal affairs because he is born in a Kshatriya family, he is a great lineage, and so there is no one better than him. So he's practicing devotional service and he does not want to be disturbed. So he's been told, okay, so Prabhu, you're chanting 64 rounds every day. But thing is that now the new temple has come. So why don't you become the new temple president? So he says, no, no, this is all distraction. Let me chant 64 rounds and you give that to someone else. So that is Priyavrat Maharaj. So his father comes, Swayambhuva, and he says, no, no, I can't do that. And then ultimately Brahmaji comes. And then when Brahma comes, then he understands that perhaps it's the matter is very grave. That's why it is being told to me. And so he accepts it. So it's not that he likes it. But responsibility means sometimes you have to do some activity which you don't like also. So management, organization, generally devotees, they will not like it. There are some who like it also. But mostly devotees, they don't like because you have to deal with so many different permutations, combinations, different types of crazy people, situations, challenges. It's better to sit in one place and study and chant, do some devotional activity, deity worship, go to dham, go on yatras. That is much more palatable and it is very natural also. There is nothing wrong. It's not out of place because uh, if someone is a sincere devotee, he will take taste in the 5 primary activities which Rupa Goswami says. Bhagavad Shravan, association of devotees, going to dham, chanting the holy name, like that. So, but because the spiritual master has told, so if the spiritual master tells, then you should take it up. So everybody need not do it. But if the spiritual master tells, then you have to take it up. Just like we took the example of Prabhupada. Prabhupada going to US, taking so much pains. So who wants to do that if you're sitting in Vrindavan? But because the spiritual master has told, and it is going to serve a higher purpose of many souls coming to Krishna consciousness, so he has to do it. Prabhupada writes in one of his poems on Jalduta that when he will go back to Goloka and he'll be united with Krishna. So basically, Prabhupada writes in one of his conversations that he did not want to come here. But Krishna told that he should go there and write books. And Krishna told him that he'll give protection. So he came. So no one wants to come here, but only someone who is a advanced devotee, he is given that responsibility by Krishna. So we see that there were many elevated followers of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. But they neglected something which Srila Prabhupada did not neglect. So definitely Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada, he gave instruction to many of his disciples, not only Prabhupada, to go and preach in the West. And some of them went also. They are not as successful as Prabhupada. But Prabhupada, he took that instruction to his heart and put all his even energy into it, even after facing so many uh, failures. And even after seeing that there is no chance of success. If you read Lilamrut, the early days when Prabhupada was, struggling alone in what is that name of that chapter? First section, uh, struggling alone in something. Very interesting section. So Prabhupada is not receiving any help from any god brothers, any government officials. He does not have money. He does not have proper clothes. He has two pairs of dhoti kurta which are little bit torn, and no one is encouraging him, giving him money, support. He wants to go to West. No one is helping him. So even when no one is helping, he is still very much focused on his uh, mission. So what is the point in that? He can sit in Vrindavan. He is already an advanced devotee. And when he leaves the body, he will go back to Goloka. There is no doubt about that. But because he has been told something by spiritual master, so he is taking that responsibility, pain. So responsibility is always painful. But when it is being it's given by the spiritual master, then one has to take that pain because it is for the welfare of other living entities. So Prabhupada has given us many, many gifts, holy name, temple, books, but he has also left behind an institution. And he has asked his followers to maintain that institution after he is gone. So any devotee who has the great fortune of sharing that burden of managing the institution is he will get some nectar. Even if now is feeling the heat, he will get that nectar because he will get Prabhupada's mercy. So we have to make devotees realize that Prabhupada, Prabhupada was not so inspired to see devotees going off in the forest to chant or simply wanting to go to some secluded place and chanting throughout the day. So he spoke about that many times. So definitely Prabhupada also said at some point of time you should do it. So if you have not done it in the beginning of your life, you should do it when you retire. So we see the example of all the great acharyas. They have done this intense bhajan either in the beginning or towards the end of their life. So they don't need to do it because they are eternal associates, but still just to show an example, they are doing it. Prabhupada did it before going to the West in Radha Damodar temple. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur did it before starting his preaching 10 years in Mayapur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur did it in the beginning and also after retiring, he did it. He became a Babaji. So at some point of time, you have to do it, but one should not neglect neglect the responsibility which Srila Prabhupada has given, and one should share that responsibility according to one's capacity. Everybody did not have to uh, lift mountains like Hanuman, but whatever is our capacity and whatever is told to us, we should try to do that much. So, Srila Prabhupada, he always taught by his own example. So Srila Prabhupada, his relation with Krishna is already developed. He is coming from Krishna Loka only. But he is taking so much headache. He took big headaches. He was managing the whole movement. And whatever problems were going on in the movement, small or big, so Srila Prabhupada would deal with them. At the same time, he was translating Bhagavatam and giving classes. So when everybody was observing Prabhupada and what he was doing for all of them, then they developed faith in Srila Prabhupada. So why people had so much faith in Prabhupada? Because they saw his example that he translated Bhagavatam, he gave classes, at the same time he dealt with all the headaches also. So in this world, everything is reciprocal. Krishna also tells, the way you surrender to me, I will also reciprocate accordingly. So when people saw that their spiritual master, Prabhupada, was doing so much, so they developed that faith, love, and surrender for him. That is natural. So when someone takes up burden of love, and by doing that, when he shows that he is caring for others, then others, they also develop faith. They want to help that person. So even if they don't want to help, still seeing that person, they will feel that they should do something. So, so here in this section in Bhagavatam, we understand the importance of taking responsibility and how devotees, they take responsibility, although taking responsibility is painful. It is not something very palatable. So at the same time, we should also know that one should not take responsibility sacrificing one's own sadhana. So Prabhupada did not want that. Prabhupada's primary wish was that a person should advance in spiritual life. He should not leave. Many devotees, they took great responsibility and neglected sadhana. So for some time, they shone like a shooting star. And then they fell prey to certain material activities. So Prabhupada did not want that. One should have a clear assessment of what we can do, and one should not sacrifice one's spiritual life for that. So if we have to be convinced that I am a Krishna conscious person and I will get this work done somehow or the other, then one should do it. But if we are going to sacrifice our chanting, our spiritual life, our sadhana for that, then it is not recommended. One should also not be lazy, because sometimes we think that if I do it, then I will not do sadhana. But perhaps we will be able to do it, and our mind is just being lazy and we are giving an excuse. So a clear assessment should be there of our own personal situation. So we cannot be like Priyavrat Maharaj or Brahma. So we have so many anarthas. And whatever is our own situation, that we should consult with our spiritual authority, and he will tell that what you should do, keeping your sadhana intact. But the concept here is that great personalities, they will take up some great responsibilities, even if they don't like it, because great responsibility is only given to a great personality. Otherwise, others will not be able to carry out. Brahma could have given it to others also, but he's giving it to Priyavrat, who is not so interested. But because he's capable, he's been given that. So, so Prabhupada, he wanted all of us to take this burden of love according to our own capacity. If we try to exceed our capacity, that is always better, because we can always do more than what we can think. The mind is lazy, so the mind always gives some limitations. But generally, we can always do more than what we think. So we should try to exceed our thinking of what we can do in some way, and slowly over a period of time, our capacity of doing things will go on increasing. So Prabhupada was also like that. He gave responsibility to his spiritual sons and daughters, but when he understood that they are getting overburdened, so he took that responsibility also many times, because he was like a loving father. So this is what we understand from the verse today, that spiritual responsibility is very important aspect if we want to advance in spiritual life. Because when you take some pain, then Krishna will also give that mercy. He will reciprocate. So some kind of pain should be taken. So one should not be in comfort zone. Some pain should be taken. What kind of pain, how much pain you can take, it depends on one's own situation in life. It has to be consulted with one's spiritual authority. So we stop here. Any questions?
Hey Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the wonderful class here. You just brought about the point of why Brahma is called Lord Brahma. He's exalted personality and he's entrusted with the responsibility of his entire material creation. And here is about the real purpose of creation, that living entities have to be given here various opportunities to practice spiritual life, and then so that they get prepared and get back home. We talked about the four goals of life, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. We talked about the Pravritti and Nivritti Marg also. And then we talked about the one should do something which leads to eternity than being cyclic. We talked about the Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, and Post-Upasana Kanda. And then the thing about the Brahma comes actually personally, and actually, Preyavrata was not, willing to get out of being that in the concept. I mean, he was in the state of the Vajananandi, and he was trying to request that, you just take care of the universal affairs. And you wonderfully compared that to Srila Prabhupada's, how he was here in Vrindavana. And he could have anyway, returned back to spiritual, but he took all responsibility and pain to go back to the West, taking his spiritual master's order to heart. And we talked about how it is painful to do anything of responsibility is very painful, but when you do it for the welfare of all the living entities by the order and instruction of spiritual master, that's for a higher cause, and that will certainly help in terms of advancing also spiritually. And you very nicely, you just talked about the importance of taking responsibility, but not at the cost of sacrificing one's sadhana. And one should not be lazy, but take a proper balance in terms of exceed our thinking and capacity, which will keep increasing when we have the right balance, and we have a clear assessment of what is required, and it should be done under the guidance of the higher authorities. And you said spiritual responsibility is essential for our advancement. Thank you so much for this, spiritual learning from this universe. I just opened the line so devotees are requested to ask questions or share their realizations. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu said we can use the word Bhagavan to Brahma and Shiva. But the meaning of Bhagavan is different, isn't it, Prabhu? It has got 6 opulences in abundance. I mean, unlimited extent. But is that applies to them also, or how can we interpret that, Prabhu?
Definitely, Bhagwan means the 6 opulences, someone who has 6 opulences in full. But Sanskrit is a language where the same word is used in different context, in different places. So Bhagwan also means someone who carries the potency of the Supreme Lord. So Brahma, Shiva, they also have the 6 opulences, although not in not fully like Krishna, but to a great extent. They also have the 6 opulences. So the word is used sometimes to represent those who represent the Supreme Lord also. So just like the son of the king is sometimes called as the small king or young king, Chote Raja. The Raja's son is called as Chote Raja, something like that. So definitely they don't have the 6 opulences in full, but they have the opulences much more than ordinary living entities, because the opulences are given by Krishna himself so that they can carry out some certain activity. So that word is used.
Thank you, Prabhu. And Prabhu, I mean, maybe I'm ignorant. See, like Priyavrata and Uttanpada, they were of like maybe little younger he was. But after so many years, he was recalled again. Were they not able to nominate somebody else? They had to bring him back.
After Uttanpad also there were some kings like Rachetas and all who came in.
Yes.
But so it's not that there were no kings, but perhaps at that point of time, after the Prachetas, there was no one. So after Uttanapad, there must have been some kings. But then after Prachetas, there at that point of time, perhaps there was not someone who was as qualified as him. That's why he was called.
It's like almost like one generation back, no, Prabhu.
Yeah, actually they, because they are directly related to Lord Brahma, the sons of Manu. So their lifespan is very huge, very long, So in life of one Manu, 70 Indras come, 72 Indras come, 71 or 72 Indra, they will come. And one Indra, he lives for, I think, I can't remember exactly, but many cycles of Chatur Yugas. So the life of Manu is very, very long. So if one generation, they rule for some years and they retire, and a couple of generations, they come and go. So it doesn't matter to them so much, because they are not ruling for the whole of their lifespan, like Uttanapad and all. It's not that they're ruling till the time they are going to die. It's not like that. So they'll rule for a few years and then someone else will take over. So even if millions of years have passed, still it does not affect them, because their lifespan is in crores of years. So it doesn't matter to them actually.
Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, I have a question. I mean, I was just, when I was reading the purport, we were saying that and demigods were mentioned, it included Narada. So I thought Narada was always a devotee, not demigod. I mean, how do we understand that?
Yeah, he's Devarshi, is the Rishi amongst the demigods. So Narad Muni is completely different from all the devatas. He is completely different from all the rishis also, explained in the first canto of Bhagavatam. So there are many rishis who are born from Brahma, isn't it? Narad is one of the rishis who is born from Brahma, but Narad is not like them. The other rishis, they are born with the baggage of their previous karmas. Narad Muni is a liberated soul. He is not born because of the baggage of his previous karmas. That baggage might be very wonderful for the rishis, but still they are born because of that baggage, that pious baggage. They are born as great rishis. Narad Muni is not an ordinary living entity, he is a liberated soul. His body is also Satchidanand body, spiritual body. So, although born from Brahma, he is not like other rishis. So, he is a spiritual personality. That's why he can go to spiritual world anytime, come back and do all those activities. So, Narad Muni, although he is born from Brahma, that's why he is called as Devata. But he has a special position. So, just like when Lord Ram is born, he is called as a Raghu, means someone who comes in the dynasty of King Raghu. But still he is different. So it's like that. The Lord is also born in the family of Yadus. But he's not like other Yadus. Of course, most of the Yadus are also liberated souls. They are coming from spiritual world. But he's different. So it's like that. So he is born in the family of demigods. He's born to Brahma. So he is a demigod. But he is a special amongst demigods also.
Okay, so
Sometimes
that is more like a lineage. It's more like a lineage here
yeah,
from a category point of view, but it's not so. Okay.
yeah. Sometimes the Manu, some of the Manus, they are also directly incarnations of the Supreme Lord, because there is no one to take the position of a Manu. So he is a Manu, he is a demigod, but he is Supreme Lord also. It's like that.
Thank you, Prabhu. Any other?
Vyasadeva, Vyasadeva.
Huh.
Vyasadeva is also position. So someone who comes and compiles the Vedas, it's Vyasadeva. So most of the times it is some spirit soul. Like the next Vyasadeva is Ashwatthama. So he will be the next Vyasadeva. The next Indra is Bali Maharaj. So, but when no one is there, then Supreme Lord will come himself. So that post is there, the post of demigod or whatever. But he is special also. So either Supreme Lord or liberated soul, like that.
Thank you, Prabhu. Any other questions to Prabhu or any realizations?
It's cloudy outside, so we can't see Gauranga today. It's been raining here.
Oh, okay, Prabhu. I think there are actually no further questions, Prabhu.
Right.
So we can just end the session now. Thank you for actually giving us association and sharing the nectar.
Thank
If we
you.
just end it, yeah. If we just end the class, we do the Vaishnav form. Vancha kalpatarubhasya, kripa sindhubhya edasya, patitanam, pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo namo. Anantapoti Vaishnavendra Jai, Gauranga Srimad Bhagavatam Jai, Srila Prabhupada Jai, Nityam Gosita Premasindhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for joining us. I'll be in the session with you. Hare Krishna. Thank you, devotees, for just joining today. Tomorrow we'll be having live class from temple.